Alright, this is Solo and Editing Part 2, talking about overwriting. Let's get right to it. In the previous video, we discussed how L337 was overwritten due, in part, to depicting L3 as an activist droid, either to push or parody activism. Another part of the overwriting of the L3 character, though, comes through the filmmakers wanting to convince the audience that L3 is an important character. Quality writing simply presents characters as they are, and allows the audience to decide which characters they like. We've seen this happen with Star Wars original trilogy characters such as Boba Fett. In no way were the Empire Strikes Back filmmakers trying to push Boba Fett as an important character. He simply played his role in the story, and the audience latched onto him for various reasons. Now, you could argue that L3's role in Solo was to be an activist droid that convinces other droids to rise up and fight on Kessel, which aids the mission that Beckett, Han, and Kira were trying to accomplish. However, we should ask if that activism angle is absolutely necessary for this to take place. Let's take a look and find out.
Excuse me, I need to use this terminal. Hello? Can you hear me? Oh. Restraining bolts. Barbaric.
So we're in action with Han and Chewie sneaking around the facility, but rather than get to the point of L3 aiding Han and Chewie, we have to get through this bit of dialogue between L3 and another droid as she pulls a restraining bolt off him, which only distracts from the mission. Let's keep going.
Congratulations, you're liberated. Scoot. I don't know. Free your brothers and sisters or something. Just give me some space. I'm in.
Han, can you hear me?
Kinda need to know which way to go here.
L3?
The thermal vault is down 2 levels, then left, then right, then it's the 3rd left.
Do you see the inconsistency in L3's tone here? When we first meet L3, we're shown that L3 is completely serious about freeing droids. Here, though, we're shown L3 as being very lackadaisical, and even sarcastic concerning the idea of freeing droids. It's just not consistent for the character. So let's see what it looks like when we remove this.
I'm in.
Han, can you hear me?
Kinda need to know which way to go here.
L3?
The thermal vault is down 2 levels, then left, then right, then it's the 3rd left.
It's a lot of directions, but we're on it.
Now what we see is the action simply flowing. Han and Chewie are in disguise, trying to find their way around the complex, and L3 plugs into the computer and helps them out. That's really all we need here, and it keeps us in the flow of the action. And because of this change, we can now remove other clips that are unnecessarily breaking up the action.
They're in subsector 4, coming up on gate X371K.
Overriding!
Freedom.
When we have these extra clips of the droids freeing themselves, as well as the human prisoners, we take attention away from what Han, Chewie, Kira, Beckett, and L3 are doing to execute their plan to steal the coaxium from the facility. Let's see what happens when we remove those unneeded extra clips.
They're in subsector 4, coming up on gate X371K.
Overriding!
So, by removing the other droids causing chaos, we allow L3 to be the one to free the human prisoners. And since it comes after she opens the door that Han and Chewie need to go through, these cuts together make it feel as if L3 is not only opening that one door, but also opening an entire path for Han and Chewie to follow, as well as giving them some cover by freeing the prisoners. It feels more intentional rather than random. I mean, how did L3 know that one freed droid would free other droids that would free the human prisoners? She didn't know that would happen, so we should cut this scene so that L3 frees the human prisoners herself. We can either go with the original edit and say, oh, look at how L3's activism caused this mass breakout that helped the mission, or we can go with our alternate cut and realize that L3 calculated the path forward for Han and Chewie. And this is just another example, as we showed in part 1 of this series, of how removing L3's activist angle actually makes L3 look like a better character. And these alterations make L3 a more likable character, one that can become important to the audience if the audience so chooses. We simply show L3 as playing her role as a droid and being intentional in what she does. We don't act as if the story partially revolves around L3 finding her purpose in quote-unquote life, while Lando sits around, not even paying attention to the mission.
Nonetheless, there L3 and I were, deep in their sacred temple. And that's when we saw it. Always something. You guys are not gonna believe what I'm seeing up here.
Is it a mass breakout?
L3, what did you do?
I found my true purpose, Lando! That's what I've done! I'm so glad we took this job!
That droid.
L3, come on!
Follow me, compatriots!
If we can ask the question, do we really need this? Then chances are that we probably don't need it. This clip not only pushes L3 as super important, but it also makes Lando look lazy. And that's not how we want to portray Lando.
You guys are not gonna believe what I'm seeing up here.
Is it a mass breakout?
L3, what did you do?
L3, come on!
Do you feel how the energy just extends from one clip to the next? We don't stop to see Lando talking to his diary. We don't stop so L3 can have a moment of importance. We simply keep the action going through the escape from the facility. And what happens next during the run back to the Falcon? L3 is shot, and Lando, well, let's just watch it.
L3! No, Lando, get back here! Lando! System failure. Have to reroute sensory modulators.
It's all right. Save energy. I'm gonna get you out of here.
System
All right?
failure. Conditions come.
This comes off as unintentionally funny, because L3 is treated like any other human character in this film, and that's not how L3 should be depicted. Obviously, L3 is a droid, and Lando can simply fix L3 or buy another droid, so why is he making such a huge deal over this?
L3! No, Lando, get back here! Lando! System failure.
Damn it.
If the idea is to have Lando save the greatest navigational database in the galaxy, that's fine. But all that would be required is a line of dialogue from Lando about needing L3's navigational database to make the Kessel Run. Then the audience can seriously connect with Lando's desire to sprint into the battlefield to pull L3's head from her body. Lando's emotional connection to L3 is not only not needed, but it doesn't allow for this better explanation for Lando's reckless actions to realistically occur. Now, let's skip a bit to see the escape.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
Restart! It's not responding. Not responding.
On, get us out of here.
It's not responding.
On, now.
On it.
So we have Lando cradling what's left of L3 as L3 malfunctions, but the reason for the malfunctioning is to set up L3's demise and attempt to lend to it the weight of a human character's demise. This is some serious overwriting. We can also call it a misunderstanding of how characters in the Star Wars universe view droids.
Lando.
I'm here. It's all right, L3.
Lando.
I've got you.
This is not.
It's okay, L3.
Lando.
It's all right. I can fix you. I can fix you.
Lando. What's happening to me?
L3?
L3!
I'm sorry, girl. I'm so sorry.
L3 shut down because she lost power, not because she died. L3's memory chips are still intact, meaning that those memory chips can be wired into the body of another droid, and Lando knows this. He knows how droids work, so why is Lando crying? He literally says, "I can fix you," then is sad because L3 died? Why is Lando sad? Why is anyone in this scene sad? They all know how droids work. They all know how easy it would be to repair L3. Heck, we saw C-3PO get blown apart completely, and Chewbacca repaired him. Why? Because characters in the Star Wars universe know that droids are machines.
You must repair him. Sir, if any of my circuits or gears will help, I'll gladly donate.
He'll be alright.
So we have Lando showing an uncharacteristic attachment to his droid, and it's likely that the filmmakers were trying to make the audience become attached to a new character, L337, by having a beloved character, Lando Calrissian, show how important she is to him in every way possible. But it's way too much, which is why we have to cut back on the act of pushing L3 as super important, since it just gets in the way of the action.
Han, get us out of here. Now!
On it.
With the action moving so quickly from retreat to takeoff, we can now feel the urgency in the situation.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
Restart! It's not responding. Not responding.
Han, get us out of here.
It's not responding.
Han, now!
On it.
Han, get us out of here. Now!
On it.
And because we cut Lando cradling L3 as she, quote-unquote, died, the next time we see Lando after he signals for Han to pilot the Falcon is when Lando enters the Falcon's cockpit. And we can move the discussion in that scene along a bit faster as well.
You can't make the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs.
Watch me.
How?
Take a shortcut. Through there.
Into the Maelstrom. Spectacular way of killing us all. I'll give you that.
Can't do it without L3.
She's gone.
You said yourself she's got the best navigational database in the galaxy.
If we remove her neural core, it's possible we can download her brain into the Falcon's computer, right?
Could we?
Theoretically.
Only one way to find out.
Rather than having to carry an unneeded emotional attachment between Lando and L3 through multiple scenes, we can just get right to the point.
You can't make the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs.
Watch me.
How?
Take a shortcut. Through there.
Into the Maelstrom. Spectacular way of killing us all. I'll give you that.
Can't do it without L3.
You said yourself she's got the best navigational database in the galaxy.
If we remove her neural core, it's possible we can download her brain into the Falcon's computer.
Do you see how we did that? Rather than force the audience to sit through Lando acting as if L3 has died, then him doubting the ability to link L3's neurocore with Falcon, we instead have Lando present the problem, Han offer a solution, and Lando immediately running out to get that solution underway, because he already knows that it can be done. We're not wasting time, we're in action, so we're cutting right to the point and giving the audience only the information they need, and that's all. And this wasting time while in action happens in other places as well, like in this scenario in which they try way too hard to land a joke.
Beckett, did you hear me? Are they on us? Like Ragnall on a Kylax.
I don't know what that means.
Like a Gengerson's pelt.
What are they or aren't they?
Yes, they're still on us. Beckett, did you hear me? Are they on us? Like Ragnall on a Kylax.
Do you see how in the alternate clip, we're not pulled out of the pursuit of the Falcon so we can pursue an attempt at humor? Rather than cut back and forth between Han and Beckett while this pursuit is occurring, we simply have Han ask a question, push for an answer, then Beckett answers, and we maintain the action of Beckett defending against the TIE fighters, pursuing and firing on the Falcon. We have 3 fewer cuts in this alternate clip, and the pacing is stronger for it. As writers and editors, we must feel the flow of the action, the flow of the story, and sometimes we have to realize that pursuing a single joke may not be the best decision for the scene as a whole. We also must realize how applying too much to one character, such as an activist angle on top of the role the character already plays in the story, may not be the best decision for the movie as a whole. We can improve L3 as a character simply by recognizing how L3 is overwritten and cutting back on that. This is something we have to watch out for, because everything is information, and good writers and editors are good managers of the information they pass on to the audience while telling a story. Remember,
your focus determines your reality.
So with that in mind, we need to ask, for L3's character, do we want to focus on loud and obnoxious?
You couldn't get from here to Blackspire without me. Now you're gonna make the Kessel run?
Or would we rather focus on fun?
You guys are not gonna believe what I'm seeing up here.
Is it a mass breakout?
And when we focus on fun, the reality is that L337 becomes a far more likable character that the audience may want to attach themselves to.